Welcome to Indie Music Podcast, episode 320, Managing Communications and Processes. Indie Music Podcast now has a Patreon on patreon.com/indie_musiccast. And we invite you to become a member for exclusive benefits. For next to nothing per month, you can get members only podcast video, early access to upcoming episodes, merch, and more. This morning, Matt and I get together for coffee and talk about keeping in touch with customers, letting them know when we're away, and having policies that we stick to for time to respond. Enjoy the show.
Good morning, Doug.
Hey, there you are. Good morning.
Oh, I got a little scratchy throat today. How are you, man?
I'm good. Glad it's Saturday.
Yeah, me too.
I've been up. Yeah, I've already been up for 5.5 hours, I think.
5.5? Oh,
yeah.
I've been up for a few. I did a client project already this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got the weekend free to do yard work.
I did the puppy project.
Oh, the puppy project. How's that all going?
My pet project, you know.
There you go, pet project. Nice.
It's going. It's a lot of energy.
And not yours.
No, well, no. Mine's getting expended, and they have like an unlimited supply. So
that's funny.
And you can probably hear them in the background. There's something going on.
No, actually, I can't.
No. Okay, good. Yeah, they're hitting about -42, so it should be easy to
easy to cut out the noise gate.
Yeah.
Hey, you'll notice my new suspended microphone setup. I'm trying this out this week.
Digging it?
Yeah, I'm really digging this Dynamite inline amp. It's really it's kind of a game changer for me.
Is that the Q9U I see there?
It is the Q9U.
Nice.
So I look like a professional podcaster.
You certainly do.
I haven't used it for a voice project yet, but I have one coming up, and I will try it out on that.
Nice.
But next week I'll have something else up here. But I'm just running through my mic locker and seeing how they all perform.
You have a locker? Do you really a locker?
I just call it that. It's not a real locker.
That
would be annoying because I'm the only one that uses it. Why would I lock it up?
See if we could have like those lockers, you know, like Leaving Richmond has.
Oh yeah, all of the painted the different colors and stuff.
Yeah,
that was pretty slick.
Yeah, I was kind of digging on those. I was like, I got this wall over here that, you know, and I don't know what colors. You know, I thought the colors thing was really cool because it kind of like, you know, was a good backdrop for what he was doing.
Right.
You know, but I'm so into like
thing was
gloss black in here. But
they're very reflective though of sound, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so too. And I, you know, every time I look at like doing something, I'm like, well, that's going to reflect.
Right.
How's that going to reflect on me, you know?
But how's that going to reflect? Yeah, exactly. I know I do the same thing. Like, well, I could do that, but then that's going to change the way sound bounces around in here.
Yep.
You can't overthink that stuff.
So I'm pretty much can only buy soft things.
Soft desk, soft cabinets.
You know, carpeted
bookshelves.
Yeah.
Can you imagine carpeted bookshelves?
You know, when I was a kid, we had wall-to-wall carpeting. It was like a thing.
It was a thing in the 70s.
It was. And, you know, and I think a lot of it was so that we didn't like break our heads open.
Probably true.
Because there were soft surfaces all around. And, and I have 4 siblings. So,
okay. I have 2.
You know, and there were fists and elbows and all kinds of stuff going on, you know, and
wiffle bats.
There were wiffle bats. Yep. We used to take the wiffle balls and wrap duct tape around them, and so you could like that actually like, you know, you could throw them.
You throw them harder,
and they hit harder.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You could, you know, but then you had to like duct tape the wiffle ball bat so it wouldn't like split in half when you hit it.
Right.
But then it was like you could like really launch that wiffle ball. You know, so
we use tennis balls
Oh, did you?
We just threw the wiffle balls away, used duct tape the wiffle ball bat, and then used tennis balls.
Yeah.
Oh man, good times, good times.
So we were having a very brief, like one post each on Twitter, and you were talking about you just configured your email in HubSpot. What was that? What was going on?
Oh well, I just thought I'm just trying to do better with my integration and my just kind of streamlining my backend processes. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to have, HubSpot track my client conversations via email so that it's
Sure.
integrated. But I didn't want it capturing stuff like emails from Amazon. So I
Oh,
I just wanted to make sure that there was a way to do that without like importing my entire
are you
inbox.
are you sending and receiving from HubSpot?
I could if
Okay.
it was so integrated.
So if you're using and you indicated Gmail, so
Mhm.
if you're using the Gmail client, you get to choose whether or not you track a conversation.
Oh,
So
that's what
there's
I want to do.
and so are you using Chrome?
I am using Chrome.
So there's a Chrome extension for
Okay.
HubSpot, and you put that in, and then you'll just be able to choose what to track or not.
Okay.
And then and be wary. There's one thing about it that I've actually contacted support on, and that is if I open a tracked email from my phone,
Yeah.
it tends to start blowing up my notifications
Oh.
that the tracked email has been opened. Um, and I put in like an IP filter
Mm-hmm.
for my phone's IP, but like sometimes my phone's on Wi-Fi, sometimes my phone's
Oh,
on
right.
cellular network. I could be on a different cellular tower where I got a different IP. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and or something like that. I'm really not sure, but that has caused me to have to go in and tailor my notifications for the HubSpot app on my phone.
Okay. So I do get notifications for HubSpot, but I do not have notifications for my email because I don't want to know every time I get an email.
Yeah. Well, I get red dot counters.
Yes.
But I do get a vibration. But I don't have any I can't stand if you know me, I mean cannot stand it. Is my pet peeve is phone notifications, is
Mm.
beeps, chirps, whatever custom things you have. If it makes noise on your phone, I hate it. Okay. And
Good to know.
and yeah, and so my phone is always silent, and for that reason, it just
Mhm.
really it man, I
No, I hate
it
it
sets
too.
me off, like,
It's like you feel like you're a slave to the device.
yeah,
A and B, it's just a constant interruption of everything.
yeah.
So I have mine in silent all the time. It only notifies me for I get a ping of Slack, which is always you, and it buzzes for calendar notifications. Like if I know I have an appointment or something, I do want to tell me that,
Yeah,
and also for SMS messages, which
yeah,
is usually either some important system down or a family notifications.
yeah.
Almost always.
And you know what's cool is I've got all that channeled through Slack now, so the only notifications I actually get are from Slack
Oh,
related
fun.
to calendar and other notifications that you might get, like what you're talking about with server down notifications or whatever.
Mhm.
Anything that I have like that website, like I have a website down tracker.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
lets
yeah.
me know if the site's down, so I've got that channeled in to notify Slack. And so Slack, everything is sort of funneled into Slack, so it's a one place for me.
Well,
But
that's smart.
yeah,
I know you're good
you
with
know,
systems and
and
integrations.
Outlook, we've got the Outlook plugin.
Mhm.
And so I get those there. Do you have your own? You have your own Slack account, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Slack channel, but I don't use it. I only ever use yours because you're the only person I ever talked to on Slack.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, because I use it for, and I use it for HubSpot too. So
Yeah, it does integrate with HubSpot.
yeah,
Now, other small business people have just said that they hate that Slack makes them kind of feel like they're infinitely available, which is a pet peeve of mine. I like to have those boundaries. I don't want to have people. I mean, certain people I'm close to, clients maybe that are friends now, can text me.
Yeah.
But I don't want them pinging me on Slack.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good to have the appearance of, in quotes, of infinitely available. And it's up to you as to what you want your response time to be, and I mean, there's things like Facebook Messenger that actually like times you and starts giving you ratings based on your time, and I don't,
do they really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you integrate that with your business page, you're correct.
Yep.
Which I have done, and yet nobody has ever messaged me that way.
And you miss one and it blows your percentage, and you don't get back to it the next day or whatever. But I find it easy to get around that because I have automated responses.
Yeah, I have that set up.
And so automated, if you have an automated response, that actually happens immediately. And then if you're concerned about your response time stats, then that'll take care of that for you. But everywhere that I'm at. So my website, you contact me on my website, whether it be, I have a website chat, and I also have, email from the website, and I have an automated response that'll go out from either of those if I'm not available. Okay. And I have my policy is I'm going to get back to anybody no later than 24 hours.
Same.
Unless it's like over the weekend or something like that. So it's the next, the next business day. And that goes for Facebook and Instagram too. And I have auto replies set up on those as well for Messenger. And so I feel like I give the idea of infinitely available, but with my own boundaries of it'll be 24 hours at the most. I'm going to get back to you, and I usually respond within an hour or less. To be honest, but. Sometimes I'm in session and I'm not taking messages and things like that, or meetings and things. So I don't like to be in a meeting where someone and then go, oh wait, and I'm going over to.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah. So that stuff has got to wait.
That's like when you go to a store and you're standing there in front of the person and they take a phone call and they prioritize the phone call over you standing there instead of just going, hi, I'm with the customer. Can you hold a moment? Thank you.
Yeah, either that or writing checks. Those two things.
I know that's the other one. Especially when they're like, oh, I have to pay. Let me get out my checkbook now. Like,
look, son, that's a check. We had those when we were little.
No, that's a good point about response time. So I don't really have posted policies. I just have personal policies on that. And it's basically 24 hours for an email and more or less an hour, no more than 2 hours for any kind of like SMS or instant messenger.
Yeah. And I think every one of those automated responses everywhere that you're at is an opportunity to provide them a link to go somewhere and check out what you got going on. And so I do that. So everywhere that I, and some of it is, hey, if you're contacting for, my light just fell. Did that mess up? Okay.
No, it made the camera shake.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to mess with it here, so I'll leave it where it is. I think I got a shadow over here now, but what was I saying before my light went?
You were saying that every auto response is an opportunity to send somebody somewhere to let them know what you're.
Yeah. So take advantage of that type of thing. If it's someone message you on a social network, to your business channel, odds are they're wanting you to download their latest YouTube video, and or they actually.
It's almost never an inquiry about your services. It's always like, check out my latest song, man. Who are you?
And they, and every one of those gets a solicitation back in a reply. And I'd love to master your new song, and
oh yeah, there you go.
With links, and smart. If you're going to solicit me, I'm not going to like berate you for soliciting me. I'm just going to solicit you back.
I like that.
I don't solicit people like that. You know,
Yeah,
I have people that I reach out to and see if there's any interest in discussing something, you
right.
know. And I think, you know, that's a cold call.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You just, it's how you approach it. You know, you
it's part
don't,
of doing business.
you don't, yeah. But you don't um, send somebody a bunch of links and, you know, and beg for likes and shares and
No, it
to
just
follow
seems
their channels
desperate.
and everything. Yeah, that whole desperation is such a turnoff, you know.
Yeah, and it is, and it's the big difference is, and I know that you do this the right way because you're just that kind of guy. When you do a cold outreach, you don't do it haphazardly. You do it by researching somebody who's potentially, who's like a good fit for you. You do that research up front.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of, yeah, when I do that, I'm reaching out because, wow, I'd really like to work with this person or company or whatever, you know.
Right.
I've seen some stuff that made me really go, neat, man. That's cool. I'd like to have some involvement in that if that would be possible. And I let them know, you know,
Right.
and I let them know why, this post I thought was really cool, and it made me really think how I could help and, you know, and be a service for what you're doing here. And
Mhm.
also it's really cool. I'd love to be involved in that, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, if I feel excited about someone else's stuff, you know, in that way, then
Mhm.
I don't have a
Makes
problem
everything better.
reaching out. Yeah. I don't, you know, I wouldn't reach out to something or someone that didn't like trigger my passion button for something, you know.
Right. Right.
And you know,
Yeah. So
so
that's completely different than like hashtag scraping or keyword scraping and just
yeah.
spamming a whole bunch of people just on the hopes that it's going to hit. Because that's no way to get yourself out there.
Yeah. And while it's, you know, it's small and selective, it gives you the opportunity to kind of define, and I think it's important to define uh who's your perfect customer,
Hmm.
you know, and to really have that set well in your mind as to um what you know, and who is exactly the one that you'd like to reproduce over and over and over again, you know,
Right.
as all your, if all my customers could be like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and then go find them, you know.
Right. Yeah, totally. Totally. And that's not a new concept, although the name of that has changed over time. I just got done rereading the E-Myth Revisited, and
Oh yeah.
he had a name for it. And what we call it now is a customer avatar.
Oh
But he wrote that back in, gosh, it was like the early 2000s.
yeah.
And he had a completely different name for it.
I don't
I
think
feel like,
I didn't read Revisited. I read the first edition of that, but
oh, yeah, reread it. It's good. Read the Revisited.
yeah, I was just over at Barnes and Noble a couple of weeks ago, and I was actually looking for it, and I couldn't find it. So
Oh,
I really kind of wanted to have a physical copy of it, and
yeah. I mean, I have a physical copy of it, and I've just started the practice of underlining things in pencil because
yeah,
I like to. It's got a lot of nuggets of wisdom,
I'm sure
even
my
though it
copy
it
is laying there next to like the Hilton Head Metabolism Diet, you know. So
the zone.
they came out about the same time, yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, how
But
can I
yeah.
become a better businessman and lose 40 pounds? Okay. Oh, that's going to take 2 books.
I'm gonna say yeah, it's gonna take one. Read Atomic Habits. That's
I
probably a
have
good
it's
one.
upstairs. My son actually just received it, and I asked him if I could borrow it, and he said yes. So, and it's
Oh yeah,
actually a hardcover version of it.
yeah. I have a hardcover version too.
He got it. He got it for his birthday. So
Oh, nice.
I thought,
Um,
what a cool gift.
it is a cool gift. Yeah, it's actually a really good book because it's applicable to basically it's like meta advice. It's applicable to anything that you want to progress in,
Yeah,
and it's fairly easy to follow because it breaks it down to the smallest.
I
next
figured I'd
step
start
that you
reading into it and go, oh yeah, that's glaring. Oh yeah.
want.
Oh, that one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny that we're talking about all this because this is kind of in line with what I've been doing this week. I was showing this to somebody yesterday. This is a flow chart of my project intake
That's
and
on
customer.
paper.
It's on because I do a lot of stuff on paper.
That's on paper.
I know, because learning a new tool just to mind map it or whatever, and it's like, no, I'm just
That would
gonna get a
work
pen.
perfectly for a mind map, you know?
I know,
And there's
but then I gotta
free
learn the
mind map.
stuff. Would you stop? I know I signed up for Miro and then I canceled that account. I'm like, well, I don't have time for all of these things. No, I'm trying to
I just love that it's on
streamline.
paper. I think
I'm
it's
trying
cool.
to streamline, not add things to my plate, even
Yeah.
though I signed up for 2 different project management.
Was that in
softwares.
pen?
Pen and pencil.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
I
do
drew
you
it
do you
first
do
in
it in pencil first, and then when you're like that's it, then you like go over the top of it again in pen
Um,
to make it permanent?
I did that just as a way of highlighting. No, we're totally off on my process. I was talking about my process. I don't like that. It's getting too meta. I'm just
sorry,
saying,
but
this is what I'm
whole
working on this week.
The whole
my
mind map on
process.
paper thing was just like, wow. Okay.
That's what paper's for.
Yeah.
Paper and pencil. No, I've drawn a picture of my intake process, my whole customer life cycle process, and I'm looking for places where I can streamline, where I can automate, where I'm missing, for instance, documentation or you know, letters, or you know what I mean, just like looking for holes, looking for ways to just make it better for me and for my clients.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on this week. I got a whole page of recommendations for
planning
myself.
out automation on paper.
Yeah. I don't know why that's funny.
I find that hilarious, man.
It's faster because I already know how to use a pen and paper.
Sure.
I don't have to learn a piece of software to do this. Because that's a rabbit hole.
Do you take notes in cursive? Because
what mind mapping software is the best? Let me go try 5 of them and see which one. Then I lose a week. I could have just drawn it on a piece of paper in 5 minutes.
Mind mapping has been fun. I think the software offers something that you don't get on paper, and it's like to look at it and try to discern that's really how I think about things, and like just this like crazy vine,
right?
A tangled vine. When I look at it. So mind mapping software has never really worked out for me because I think I don't necessarily organize my mind in that way.
That's what I was going to say. I've never found one that is intuitive to me enough, or that really actually maps the way that I think about stuff.
Yeah. But the thing is like you think about something like Trello, neither did it, and after some time spent with it, and it's like, how did I not get this?
Yeah.
So that's how kind of with mind mapping, I just keep trying it because I believe that it's something that will click with me,
And speaking of click, I'm actually experimenting this week with a software called ClickUp, which is like Trello, but includes mind mapping and some other stuff. And
oh, really?
I'm looking at it as an alternative to Trello, which I've used, but I use it kind of as a set and forget. Like once I put it there, then I move on, and going back to it is not as intuitive as creating something in it, if that makes sense.
Is it collaborative?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's free too for the base tier. So take a look, set up an account, take a look at it. You might like it. I'm finding it's very simple to use, and what I'm looking for, here's what I'm really looking for. I want a piece of software that I can build a custom dashboard in, and I think I mentioned this before. In my dashboard have like, here's all the sites I need to visit on a regular basis. Here's a link to this page, and here's a link to this page, and here's a link to my HubSpot. It doesn't need to be integrated, but just a way of having a single pane of glass, like I do, for instance, on my banking, a single pane of glass where I can see all my accounts, see all my balances, and everything that I want to have like right there, important. And I'm kind of hoping that I can do something like that.
Have you ever looked at any of the Atlassian products? I can't remember if it's
Trello. They bought Trello. They own Trello now.
Oh, okay. Well, like Confluence, what you're describing to me there, But I don't know if Confluence has a free plan or not. But that would, I mean, Confluence is a documentation site, but it's on steroids. And everything that you just said there, I was like, well, you could just, here's my links document, my daily thing. I go visit this doc every day,
I think you can do that with Notion.io, which does have a free plan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be free, but I need to have it free for at least 2 weeks so I can have time to really play with it.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple things. I'm just trying this out. I kind of like it so far, but it's one of those things that, how much do you pour into it to figure out if you like it or not, and then maybe that now you have to do something else with all that information put in there.
Yeah, well, you've got to, it shouldn't take too long. Give yourself, actually set yourself a window,
like a weekend,
and time box it. I'm going to give 2 hours to this. And in 2 hours, if I haven't decided that it's worth continuing on, then I'm done.
That's a really good idea.
If I found some things in it that I like, but I'm still not sure, let's assess and create another time box to look into those things, and do it like that.
Smart.
Yeah, because you might find something that you like about it, and in most cases, I think you'll go, yeah, this has got like 2 or 3 things that I really like, and then about 6 that I don't think I would use. Is that worth it for me? Then do those 2 or 3 things? Is that going to boost my productivity and organization to a point that creates a benefit? And definitely, but I would definitely proof of concept everything that you do, and if need be, do it in a time box fashion so that you don't lose a whole weekend into it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that. I'll do that this weekend.
But stick to the time box. So define it first, and then go set the timer, and then go spend an hour on it and see where you get with it. If it's not intuitive, you'll know that within the first hour. You're going, I didn't really get anywhere in an hour with this. That's not a good sign. So
I did spend a half an hour with it and found it very intuitive, unlike Notion, which I thought was too open-ended.
Anyway. I think any of these things, I like draw.io.
Oh,
and so I do all my planning. I like my patch bay planning, and I've done my studio layout. And you can just do, it's all kinds of drawings and flow charts and stuff like that. And especially, and it's handy if you need to do it in any sort of scale as well. But it's not an architectural drawing program. It's a flow charting and planning kind of thing. And literally, that was one of those things I grabbed, I started messing with it, and in 10 minutes I was drawing, and I was like, this is great. Yeah. I don't have a vast experience with drawing applications like that, and but you need to create a flow chart. I bet you can be up and running, on something like that, in 10 or 15 minutes. And I think that's a good sign, when you're trying to look into and maybe adopt something new. If you're actually if it's intuitive and you're kind of getting it within just 10 or 15 minutes, then I think let's keep going forward with this and see, and keep working with it. And
it's like when you get a new guitar pedal, it's good when you kind of lose track of time just playing with it. Like, oh wait, an hour just went by, I must like this.
It's like I have this reverb pedal. It's got so many, you can sit down and play with different settings for hours, man, and just to discover what it has, so it's stuff like that. But not only it's daunting when you first come into it, but then it becomes fun because there's all these little things to discover, in small increments that that was really cool, man. How would I use that? And just getting inspiration from something like that.
I have a couple pedals that reminds me of one of the things I like about draw.io is that not only is it super easy to use and it has like a lot of built-in pictures of things that you can just throw into your flowchart. You can also make good diagrams with it. Is that there's a web version of it you can do in a browser, but there's also an application version that you can download and just have a local app.
I
think it's Java based.
I don't know.
Anyway, I didn't even think of that one. I already have that for like mind mapping and stuff.
You could use it for that. They've mind mapping, you can use any flowchart, you know,
Or you
and
can just use a piece of paper.
or
I don't know why that's so funny to you. Oh, something that you mentioned earlier that I wanted to ask you about. Oh, you mentioned autoresponders. So
yeah.
to help make it look like you are, as I like to call it, because I came up to this idea because I feel like my wife thinks I'm infinitely available. My term, infinitely available, like I am always on standby, waiting for your input or your request. Well, what do you use those to let people know that you're not going to be available for a week, or do you leave those? I mean, what do you do when you're going to take a week away from stuff? Do you let your active clients know that you're going to be taking a break? How do you notify your incoming requests?
Okay. Yeah. Well, definitely any active clients, you know, I'm going to be out on vacation or whatever, and I let them know in, you know, in person or directly, you know, and
Yep.
and then as far as my other systems go, it just depends on what I feel my availability while I'm away is going to be. If I'm going to be off the grid, then yeah, I'll give it like an out of office thing.
Mhm.
So let me give a note here. All of my autoresponders that are email
Yeah.
use a do not reply address um,
Oh, okay.
that I've created, and because well, one thing is that I generally don't give out my direct email to other than to clients or people that I've potentially going to be clients with proposals and stuff like that.
Okay.
So any autoresponder stuff is provided from a do not reply email address, and same thing
Hmm.
with my newsletter, because I've got a lot of people signing up for a newsletter that I have no idea who they are. And you got to understand the reason I do this is because there's a lot of bot harvesters out there for email addresses.
Sure. Sure.
You know, and then I'm trying to control, um, uh, you know, that type of thing from overtaking my email account. So it has nothing to do with the people, the legitimate people or anything like that. It is
Yeah.
really trying to pre-qualify that it's not a bot contacting me.
Sure. Sure.
And so I use a do not reply, which is unmonitored. I have never looked at it. I don't look at that email address, and I let you know in that auto response that it's an unmonitored email address. I'm not available right now, and you know, and then I'll get back within 24. If I'm going to be out for longer than that, I might update that message. I
Hmm.
really haven't though. I mean, just about anywhere I go, um, I'm going to be able to respond on my phone, and I don't mind that. Uh, um, and in which case, then I'd reply and say, "Hey, I'm out of the office for a week, so I'll be back in touch with you when I get back on Monday or whatever." And
Yeah, that's essentially what I do because
yeah,
I mean I have my phone and that's a quick email. Hi, thanks for your contact. I mean, and you can do that auto, but you know, if I had more
yeah,
I had more inquiries coming in, I'd probably do that auto, but I don't.
I could set up autoresponder on my email, but then again, I'd have to reply uh, with my email address.
Right.
And I only want to do that for customers or for those that are pre-qualifying, that I verified that, you know,
Yeah,
aren't bots. So
that makes sense.
that's how I do it anyway. But no matter if I'm on vacation or what, I usually just try to respond. It's not that big of a deal. You know, it's not.
Yeah, it just takes a few seconds really.
Yeah. Now, if
And
I'm
if
going
it
to be
was
off the grid, then I would probably take time to update my message, and I'm out. So,
yeah,
you know, I'll get back with you on the 10th, you know, or whatever. And thanks so much for contacting us, type of
right.
thing.
I'm pretty much never off the grid.
No, doesn't happen too often. I kind of dream about it once in a while. But
Yeah.
anywhere that we go now, it's different. 10 or 12 years ago, uh, could be driving across the country and not have any cellular reception anywhere between, you
Oh,
know,
right.
Idaho, Montana, and stuff like that, which is no longer the case. You can basically get coverage anywhere at this point.
Pretty
Um,
much. Yeah, pretty much. If I don't respond in an hour, I'm either sleeping or driving.
Yeah. But if that answers your question, I mean, that's kind of how I deal
Yeah.
with
I
it.
was just curious.
I just
There
try to
was a
stick with the
period.
flow. But
There was a period where I took some advice and I thought, okay, I'm going to put an autoresponder on my email that says, "Hi, I received your email." You know, like some companies do. "Hi, I received your email. I'll get back to you within 24 hours." But then it was just responding to everything because you
yeah,
can't be really. It's like an all or nothing, and it's like,
yeah.
no, that's
Now if you have it's different. If you have an organization, you can filter by responses by only emails within your organization, which is different.
right.
But outside of the organization, I just leave that up to the do not reply autoresponder, and then I'll
Yeah.
follow. I'll see it. I'll see the notification.
Yeah, I just found that for me, it was too much. It was so much more trouble to set all that up, just to have it say I'm going to respond when already I was going to respond within the time allotted. It's like an extra email for nothing and extra work for nothing for me personally.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, that's how I deal with it. I just try and keep it simple, and then because main thing is if I don't have to go in and update the autoresponders and stuff like that, that's great. I'd rather just take a few minutes and respond when I can, and try and keep it within my policy of 24 hours or next business day. So
yeah, simple is important.
Yep.
And to eliminate confusion also important.
Yeah,
those are like the two important things. And
so
that's why I don't use mind map software.
Well,
yeah, I think that was a good discussion.
Yeah,
about a bunch of different things.
Yeah, actually, I don't think we even got into what we had talked about for our topic.
No, that's okay. I think this was better.
So, we'll put that in the back pocket for next time, whatever it was. I can't remember right now, but
it doesn't matter. Cool. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, man. It's good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I looked at the camera more today. I've been trying to
I think you did.
I actually got rid of it. I don't have any desk in front of me here, and it's just nothing between me and the camera. So other than having looking over here, and if you're showing something or whatever, because you're on screen over here.
Iron Maiden.
Nice.
You can always do what they do at those Sears photo studios, put a little stuffed animal next to your camera.
Oh,
so that you remember to look at it. So it's nice and tall.
Yeah.
Turn your head, tilt your head, and look over here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Okay. Hey, thanks for the chat, and talk to you later, Matt, and listeners and viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you all.
Cheers.
Cheers.